Hi, hello, welcome to our channel Chemistry Era. This is Anil. Today we are going to learn the next topic of 10th class chemical equations. In the previous video, we have learned about physical change. Also, we have seen certain examples in order to understand the chemical change. Let us try to recall them. In the first example, we have taken calcium oxide in a beaker and we have added a sufficient amount of water to it, and when we thoroughly mix it and when you touch the bottom of the beaker, you feel it is hot. Those reactions in which heat is liberated, those are called as exothermic reactions. Now, if you take a red litmus paper and add few drops of the substance formed in this reaction, it turns into blue litmus, which indicates that after addition of water, the substance formed in the reaction is basic in nature. I repeat, when you add water to the calcium oxide, the resultant substance converts red litmus into blue litmus, which indicates the substance formed is going to have a basic nature. We have already seen the second example. In the second example, you have taken the zinc granules in a test tube and we have added a dilute sulfuric acid to it. After some time, air bubbles are coming out. We have said that those air bubbles are nothing but hydrogen. How? When you take a burning matchstick towards it, it puts off the flame with pop sound, which indicates that the gas liberated upon addition of dilute sulfuric acid to zinc granules is hydrogen. And we have also seen the third example. In the third example, you have taken a small amount of barium chloride salt in a beaker, and in another beaker you have taken sodium sulfate salt, and to both the beakers you have added a sufficient amount of water to it, which results in the formation of a colorless solution. When you mix the both solutions, at the bottom of the beaker, an insoluble substance is formed. That insoluble substance formed when the two solutions are mixed, we are calling it as a precipitate. So what is precipitate? The insoluble substance formed after the reaction is called as a precipitate. Now observe carefully. In all the three examples, the new substance formed is going to have different characteristics than the original substance which undergoes the reaction. Let us repeat. The substance which is undergoing reaction and the new substance which is formed after the reaction are going to have entirely different properties. So we can define a chemical change as the change in which original substance and new substance are having different properties. The change in which original substance and new substance are having a different properties. That is called as a chemical change. Now let us try to understand what is this original substance called. The original substance which is undergoing reaction is called as a reactant. The original substance which undergoes reaction is called as a reactant. What do you call the new substance? The new substance formed after the reaction or after the change is called as a product. Original substance which undergoes reaction is called reactant. The new substance formed after the reaction is called as a product. We can represent the chemical change like this. What this arrow indicates? What does the arrow mean? The arrow means gives rise to. Reactant react gives rise to products. That is the meaning. That means a reactant after reaction gives a product. Let us take the simple example now to understand it. If you take the lemon juice, what are those? Lemon, sugar, salt, water, all these are reactants. Lime juice is the product. That means all these react to form the lime juice. Now let us see certain characteristics of a chemical change. Characteristics of chemical change. In all chemical changes, original substance, that is reactant, and new substance, that is product, are going to have different properties, not only physically but chemically also. Original substance and the new substance are having different properties. Next one. In a chemical change, there may be release of heat or there may be absorption of heat. As we have already known, those reactions in which there is a release of heat, those are called as exothermic reactions. Those reactions in which heat is absorbed are called as endothermic reactions. In a chemical change, gas may be evolved. Next one, the fourth characteristics. In a chemical change, precipitate formation may takes place. Let us try to understand once again. In a chemical change, very importantly, the original substance and the new substance are having different characteristics. The original substance is called reactant and the new substance is called as a product. In a chemical change, there may be release of heat, there may be absorption of heat. If there is a release of heat in a reaction, such reactions are called exothermic reactions. Those reactions in which heat is absorbed are called endothermic reactions. We have already seen the example. When you have taken the calcium oxide and add water to it, when you touch the bottom of the beaker, you feel it is hot. That means it is an exothermic reaction in which heat is liberated. And when you have taken ammonium chloride in a beaker and add water to it, when you touch the beaker, if you have feel it is cool, that means there is a absorption of heat. So it is a endothermic reaction. Next characteristics. In a chemical change, gas may be evolved. You have already seen the example. You have taken zinc granules in a beaker, and when you add dilute sulfuric acid to it, air bubbles are coming out of it. When you test the air bubbles with a burning matchstick, it puts off with a pop sound, which indicates hydrogen gas is liberated. Next, you have already seen the example, the reaction between you have taken barium chloride salt and add water to it, and you have taken sodium sulfate salt and add water to it. When you mix the both solutions, at the bottom of the beaker, the insoluble substance is formed. That insoluble substance formed in a reaction is called as a precipitate. That means in a chemical change, precipitate formation may takes place. I think all of you are aware an element is represented by using a symbol. Suppose the element hydrogen is there, we are going to represent by using the symbol H. If the element sodium is there, we are going to represent by the symbol Na, right? Now, when there is a molecule is there, this molecule is represented by using a formula. Suppose sodium chloride is there. We are going to represent sodium chloride by using formula NaCl. How? That we are going to learn in the next video by using crisscross method, that we are going to learn in the next video. And if there is a molecule is there, that is water is there, how we are going to represent? Water can be represented by using formula H2O. Now, let us try to understand how to represent a chemical change. A chemical change can be represented by using a chemical equation. So what is chemical equation? Chemical equation is a representation of a chemical change using symbols and formula. So a chemical change is nothing but a shorthand notation of chemical change. What is that? Shorthand notation of chemical change. Now, let us try to understand how to write a chemical equation. How to write a chemical equation. How to write chemical equation? In order to write a chemical equation, certain steps are there to follow. What are they? First step. First step is identify reactant or reactants. What is reactants? If more than one reactant is there, that we are calling it as reactants. First step is to identify reactant or reactants and product. or products. Product is singular, products is plural. Second step is separate the reactants and products by using arrow. On the left hand side of the arrow, write the reactants. On the right hand side of the arrow, write the products. If more than one reactant is there, separate the reactants by using a symbol. 3 are also there, plus R, plus P, that's all. Third step, convert the reactants by using suitable symbols and formula. Replace the reactants and products by suitable symbols and formula. Last step, balance the equation. Balance the equation. There are only 4 steps are there. First step, identify reactant and product. Second step, separate the reactant product by using arrow, that is called as gives rise to. On the left hand side we are going to write the reactants, on the right hand side we are going to write the products. Separate the reactants by using symbol. If more than one reactant or more than one product is there, separate by them by using a plus. Third step, rewrite the names of reactants and products by suitable symbol and formula. Last step, balance the equation. We have already seen 3 different examples for chemical change. Let us try to write the chemical equations for the 3 chemical changes. What is the first one? The first one is calcium oxide combines with water, forms calcium hydroxide. Here calcium oxide and water are combining. That means they are reactants. Here calcium hydroxide is formed, so it is a product. First step, identify the reactant and product. Second step, separate the reactant and product by using arrow. I have written the arrow. On the left hand side, what I have written? Reactants. How many reactants are there? 2 are there. They are calcium oxide and water. What is the product? Calcium hydroxide. Only one product. Here on the left hand side, more than one reactant is there. So I have to separate them by using plus. Second step is over. Third step, replace the reactants and products by appropriate symbols and formula. The calcium oxide formula is CaO, water formula is H2O, calcium hydroxide formula is CaOH taken twice. Last step, that is fourth step, that is a balancing equation, that we are going to learn in the next video.